What up, YouTube? Webhead Mike here, and over the past couple weeks, some friends and I decided that with John Wick 4 coming out, we should all get familiar, or in my case, exposed to John Wick. And after seeing 1 and 2 already, I can't believe it took me this long to get to watching it. This is some top-tier action movie bits going on. There's a lot of heart going on in this movie too. Keanu Reeves really pulls off great performances both in the emotional and in the physical sense. Every time he gets hurt, I feel it. I can see it happening on screen. The fight choreography is amazing, and it's so grounded in its realism because you'll see moments of Keanu Reeves actually having to reload in the middle of combat, something that does not happen in action sequences in most movies. But again, that's one of the strengths of this film. There are some limits to what can happen, and that's what makes this so cool. Even the idea that there's some Kevlar or whatever woven into his suit to make him bullet resistant, you still see him take quite a bit of damage. And if it wasn't in the first film, in the second film, there's a line that's spoken by the doctor that states, if you have to, take these pills, because the moment you have to go full effort, your wounds are going to reopen. Like, thank you. Thank you. So many action movies, I have to brush aside that as part of the movie, but this one takes the time and effort to get more grounded, a little bit more real, have the stakes be felt. That was so cool. And the acting range of what I've seen in this, also leading into the second one, where we get into more of what the Continental is, and then it being connected to an even bigger, I don't know if I should say criminal organization, but it's definitely an underground organization, the Table. By the way, that is some great wordplay done, because it's all under the table. Delightful play on words right there. Hats off to them for that. But spoilers mildly. It opens with him, John Wick, tragically losing his wife due to an illness, and then one of her parting desires was that she would pass on this beautiful little beagle puppy that he could take care of in memory of her. And it begins to reconnect him back to the world after he is broken by this loss. And then along comes some moronic Russian gangsters. One of them's Eon Greyjoy. And he decides to kick and kill John Wick's puppy during a home invasion. Just to get his car, too. I mean, it is a nice car. The Mustang he has is a real good car. I think it's one of the, it goes back to that 70s movie Bullet. Classic design. I get wanting it. But then, as is spoken by his father in a few scenes later, you didn't just kill someone's puppy and take their car. It was John Wick's. And this is in a whole movie where all these bounty hunters, assassins, and criminals have some of these, like, catchy names or titles, but he's just John Wick. Yeah. Like, even the proprietor of the Continental, his name is Winston. I think that's about the closest you get to someone else having a name. There's also Lance Riddick's character. It's hard to say there's any bad acting at all in this movie. And everyone's so damn well cast. And even the editing, perfectly paced. And the music, someone made a clip track of like all the club music that happens in these two movies. It's perfect. I think it's called Dark Pulse or something, but there's like Le Wick Medley or Le Castlevania, Red Circle, Lead Spiraling. All excellent tracks. Go ahead, check them out too. And they are done so beautifully with the action sequences. And another thing is that I think they might be using silencers when they were in the club scenes. If not, I think it took about 5, maybe 10 shots before people nearby suddenly started acting like something was wrong, which is a little bit too long because, having been around guns, especially handguns, they are loud. I don't care how deep that bass is going, you're going to hear a gunshot, especially if it's a few feet over from you. And in this movie, yeah, they do. The NPCs react as you would expect and begin fleeing. And even if there were silencers, that might mask them, because it's not like in the movies where they go pew pew. It's more like bam instead of bam. But anyway, solid couple movies going for it. Third one I'm going to be watching in a few hours for the first time with the same two friends. And I don't know what to expect. Other than that, maybe it won't hit the same as the previous two, because there's a lot of emotional baggage that's been moved on from since the first two. Like the first one, great setup, great execution, great characters, great development throughout the whole thing. And then part two came along, and it was so good at continuing on some of these unresolved threads. Now, the third movie setup, not sure what to expect. But that's fine. I'm here to see how they flesh out the world, have John Wick's action odyssey continue. And that's about as close as what I could. Yeah, this is an action odyssey. If there's one thing I've noticed, it's that the first movie almost immediately led into the second, and I'm anticipating the second movie will almost certainly lead right into the third. Now, I'm usually someone who likes time skips in between movie installments. This is one case where it doesn't grate on me, because I at least see there's time gaps in the movie itself, like allowing for travel time. So at least in my mind, that's okay. But what about you? Have you seen any of the John Wick movies before? Is it your first time even considering going for them? I would highly recommend you go check them out. First John Wick movie, total classic. Modern classic, excellent movie, 9 to 10 out of 10 stars. And the sequel, 8.7, 9, real darn close to it. But hey, it's already been 7.5 minutes. I thank you for your time. Please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, Webhead Mike, out.